Good morning, this is Shindo. The news continues to be bad for the Greater Church of Lucifer. No surprise here. The truth has come out as to what Jacob McKelvy, one of the most horrible people I have ever had the displeasure to meet, has done and what he's accused of by the other archons of the Greater Church of Lucifer. I have received this last night by a friend. I honestly don't pay a whole lot of attention to what's going on in the Greater Church of Lucifer, but I do get updates by multiple people online, and I thought I would update this for all of those out there who are not aware. The Greater Church of Lucifer is absolutely 100% dissolving. This is what was posted by Michael Ford and the other two archons onto their site in the Greater Church of Lucifer. Dear members, friends, brothers, and sisters of the Greater Church of Lucifer, it is with a heavy heart that we release this statement. We have an obligation to our members and all the brothers and sisters who have supported and joined us on the spiritual journey to make you aware of an ugly issue with the GCOL. We, the Board of Directors, have been purposely silent on the details surrounding Mr. McKelvy's resignation. It has been necessary for us to remain silent because of an ongoing internal investigation into the funds and donations of the GCOL. We need time to review all the records and try to regain property that belongs to the GCOL. What we found is a gross misappropriation and mismanagement of church donations and funding. In other words, Jacob McKelvy was stealing from them. At this point, we feel it's absolutely imperative to provide all of you with the same important information about the events leading up to and following the recent resignation of Jacob McKelvy, aka Jacob No. In the process of gathering the financial information for government reporting, we received a great deal of resistance from Jacob McKelvy, aka Jacob No, in releasing the full records to the Board of Directors. This resistance culminated in Jacob's voluntary resignation from the GCOL. As we managed to obtain more and more of the financial records, it became clear that Jacob had been utilizing church funds for products and services that had not been approved by the Board of Directors. The vast majority of these purchases were not even brought before the board for approval. These purchases include items of dubious value for the church, but many of the purchases were clearly for items that had nothing to do with the church. When confronted, Jacob was unable to give plausible explanations for these purchases, and the receipts he did not cover the unexplained purchases. The Board of Directors determined that this would be in the best interest of the GCOL to refrain from publicly discussing these details until we had a chance to review the financial records. Excuse me. This also provided us with an opportunity to try to obtain as much of the church property as possible from Jacob, while simultaneously analyzing the financial data to develop a more comprehensive accounting of the situation. We're now at a point where we feel we have obtained everything that Jacob is going to voluntarily turn over. As Luciferians, you're not Luciferians, we believe that every individual is accountable for their actions, positive or negative. When the Board of Directors was established with our bylaws, each archon agreed to adhere without fail to these established bylaws. No purchase or monies were to be spent without approval from all four Board of Directors. However, Jacob did not adhere to this agreement of the bylaws and made many purchases without the knowledge or approval from the board. He violated our trust and confidence, our immediate future. We cannot let the actions of one man define us. There are many people out there who are waiting to see the GCOL fail and the Luciferian movement fade away. Folks, the GCOL failing does not mean the Luciferian movement fades away. The Luciferian movement is the movement that Lucy and I are doing, the movement that the people of the House of Hillel, many of those people out there in the House of Hillel, it's not going to fade away. Anyway, back to the text. This is merely a bump in the road, and we are on the process of wrapping things up with a chapter in the history of GCOL. We are not victims, we are Luciferians. As Luciferians, we recognize the individual accountable for their own thoughts, words, and actions, and as a matter of cause and effect, results can impact those around them. The actions of Mr. McKelvy have consequences, which have unfortunately affected the GCOL in the present, but will not keep us from our future. Obstacles and challenges which we currently face will be overcome and conquered. We are now putting together steps to ensure that this does not happen again in the future. Orders placed prior to Jacob's departure. Many of you have notified us the fact that you placed an order and it was never fulfilled. In Jacob's resignation letter to the board of directors, he stated that, quote, I intend to finish out all the remaining work that needs to be done and close out any and all pending shipments and tasks, unquote. He has since sent out a few of the remaining orders but failed to send out others. Please be assured that this current board of directors, consisting of Michael W. Ford, Hope Marie Ford, and Jeremy Crow, are working hard to ensure all outstanding orders get fulfilled or refunded. We immediately closed the donations in GCOL store when Jacob left. He was in charge of producing and sending all GCOL orders. Upholding the integrity of the GCOL is our highest priority. In our efforts to ensure this type of abuse can never happen again, we're moving to an entirely new model that eliminates the collection of donations by headquarters with the exception of what is needed to pay for the website host. We are empowering the local branches with special tools and personal guidance in order for each to become financial self-sufficient. The more decentralized model of funding local branches has also been representation of Luciferian philosophy in action. More details on this will be provided within the next few weeks. Thank you all for your support and dedication through this trying time. We have a powerful and inspiring vision of the future, and together we can overcome and achieve more in the future. Sincerely, Hope Marie Ford, Michael W. Ford, and Jeremy Crow, Board of Directors, dated 6/13/2016, copyright 2016, Greater Church of Lucifer. All rights reserved. Well, you got to ask yourself a question when it comes to Michael Ford, because you know Michael Ford is the one who put this all together. He's the only one that had the gravitas to start a Greater Church of Lucifer. I mean, who the hell were any of these other people, including his wife? Anybody ever even heard of him? They only heard of Michael Ford. Jeremy Crow has a small, very small following. His YouTube channel doesn't even have as many subscribers as my channel, and I'm hardly a big fish in this pond. So you got to ask yourself, okay, those of you who are still trying to cling on to this Greater Church of Lucifer as being actual Luciferians, you got to ask yourself, where does the wisdom lie in somebody like Michael Ford hiring somebody like Jacob McKelvy to be in charge of all this stuff? I mean, it didn't take me more than maybe a half an hour or an hour looking online to find out what kind of person this Jacob No really was. Didn't take me much time at all, and here I am sitting here in a little town in Alabama, don't have all the gravitas as Michael Ford, don't supposedly have all the powers that Michael Ford has, and I find out that Jacob No was nothing but a loser and a used car salesman at best. I mean, the guy graduated from what, to get an associate's degrees from some online college. I mean, he's a nobody. He's a nobody. But people like Jacob and I've known a lot of people like Jacob. They're the kind of people that they can get to people like Michael Ford by simply showing a lot of attention to them, praising them. The people like Michael Ford and people with those grandiose egos. Another person might come to mind that's running for president of the United States. They're very easy to control. Very easy to control. All you have to do is basically kiss their ass. And that's what Michael Ford allowed Jacob to do. Is this the kind of church that you're looking for? First of all, if you're Luciferian, you shouldn't be going to a place called a church to begin with. I think it's just utter nonsense that they even call themselves a church. They call themselves a church because they are affiliated with the Catholic Church, just not out overtly. And the reason why they're failing is not because of Jacob, no. It is no coincidence that Lucy and I got the attention of an entity, an actual entity, not just some archetype, Eris, and sent her after you guys. And she's not done yet. She's not done yet. I know, Michael Ford, that you watch my videos. So keep in mind, she's not done yet. You think you can cut out that cancer, but you're the cancer. The entire Greater Church of Lucifer is the cancer. You're not Luciferians. Luciferians aren't some pseudo Catholic kiss in the ass of Christians church. Luciferians are people who stand up and recognize themselves as Gnostics, which you are overtly against simply by your name. Your title of Archon tells me that. I don't need any other information beyond that to know just how wrong you are. And it's going to continue. You think if you cut out Jacob McKelvy, you're cutting out the cancer? You're the cancer. And you're going to be cut out. And the true Luciferian church, the Gnostic Luciferian church, which my wife and I are a part of, we're simply a part of. We are just voices among many of the voices of these spiritual voices that are out there, that are beyond the veil. Understanding that is so beyond you atheist concept. It's a spiritual concept. Those who are of the Spirit know the Spirit. Those who are not, do not. And this will continue, and you will be cut out. You're going down with the ship, and you deserve everything you're going to get, each and every one of you. Hope Marie, Michael Ford, and, of course, Jeremy Crow, who was the instigator in getting my wife cast away from your petty little nonsense. You know, the fact that she was cast out of that is actually a good thing, as you can plainly see, since this is a bunch of people who can't even operate a website and keep their people from overtly stealing from them. Jacob, you, on the phone, threatened me. Now, your sorry fat ass is going to see the inside of a jail cell. Your end is at hand, Greater Church of Lucifer, and we, the true Luciferians, will rise out of your ashes like a phoenix. This is Shindo. Have a good Wednesday.